Hey, what's up guys, Alex here with another video, and this is going to be my second part of my anime summer 2016 anime season. I always keep getting the four words mixed up. Anyway, so yeah, this is going to be the second part of my first impressions, and if you haven't watched my first video, I will leave a pop-up thingy here, and if you have, then let's get right into it. So the first one of the second lot of the anime that I watched was Amanchu. Now this one I was in an hour and about, and then I thought I'll give it a shot. So yeah, this one was really funny, and I actually quite enjoyed the first episode of this anime. It did seem rather slow, as it was mainly about these two characters who they was kind of just introducing at the time. It seems like one of the characters is absolutely, well, she seems a bit crazy, not all there, and she actually loves diving, and the other one seems to be a transfer student who's just moved in from the big city, and she doesn't have any friends, and obviously she's moving to this different school. So the two girls don't actually meet until they actually get to school, the first day of school, the first day of high school, so a new school and everything. And yeah, the character that's moved from the big city kind of just gets dragged along by the other character for like 20 minutes, for about 5 minutes in the anime. Now for the most part, this one seems like a really happy-go-lucky anime, and I've actually watched the second episode because it's come out by now, and it seems to pick up a lot. It's a lot quicker, and it's not boring really. They seem to be introducing a few other characters in the next couple of episodes, like from the opening that was in the second episode, and it looks like it's going to get a lot better. This one seems to be mainly about the two girls and their relationship, as obviously the girl from the city doesn't have any friends anymore, and the other girl doesn't seem to be able to make friends that easily because she seems a bit quirky and weird. Other than that, the art's actually really good in this one. It's really pleasant on the eyes and really colourful, and it works really well with this kind of anime. Definitely recommend watching it if you've got a spare couple of minutes. Maybe watch the first two episodes, and if you're interested in it, give it a shot, and if not, then just drop it. The second one that I watched was Arslan. Now I finally caught up with the first season, as I think I mentioned in the last episode, and yeah, this just basically carries off straight from where the first season left off. It's really good. Just more of the action, like straight off into a battle in the first episode. And spoilers if you haven't already seen this, I'll leave a little thing on the screen until, well, if you just look for the next anime that I'm talking about, like the little picture that'll pop up there, then just skip ahead if you don't really want to know about spoilers. So yeah, basically I believe the king of Ars, Paz, the king of Paz ends up escaping in the last season. So he ends up basically coming back, and he I think this might be the second episode actually. I think I might be skipping ahead because the second episode's been out. But basically comes back and essentially exiles Arslan. So yeah, this then leads him to having to go and find a load of troops. So if you've seen the opening, then this is kind of all like piratey by the looks of it. But it looks like it's going to be a really welcome kind of style to the anime, because so far it's just been mainly like muddy colours, like greens, browns, greys, blacks, and things like that, and red obviously for blood. But this one seems to be obviously taking part on the sea, so there seems to be a lot more colour in it. Obviously already the clothes of the characters are going to be changing and things like that, and I'm really looking forward to this one continuing and for more character development, as the characters are actually really interesting. So the next one I actually managed to get around to watching was 91 Days. Now this one was actually really good to watch, and I really enjoyed it. So this one seemed to be a bit more like the Joker's Game of last season. If you actually watched that anime, it was a lot different to pretty much anything that was going on last season. And this seems to be kind of like that. It's not like your typical anime. This one is mainly focused around like mafia by the seams of it. I don't quite know where it's set, but I'm sure it's mafia, or like groups of like gangs basically running a city and like fighting for it. So the main concept of this first episode was the main character's family got killed when he was a kid, and he then comes back, I believe it was 7 years later, to, I essentially guess, to get revenge. Because for some reason he gets sent a picture of his brother, I think it was, or like his mum and his brother or something like that, and he basically was like, right, I'm coming back to take revenge. So he's basically looking for this one guy. I can't remember the name of this guy, and he's trying to find him. This anime was very noir-esque, and it was really interesting, like I said. The art style was pretty gritty and like grimy, but it works really well with this kind of anime. For the first episode, I really enjoyed it. I haven't watched the second episode yet, but it is out, and I will definitely be continuing to watch this one. The next one I watched was Cheer Danshi or Cheer Boys, and I wasn't really 100% on this one until after I got about halfway through this episode, because obviously it seems like the kind of like boys cheerleading, it seems like the kind of anime that I probably wouldn't be that interested in, but it's a lot more different to that. It's a bit more like Golden Time meets, like, I guess I'd say Free, but Free's a bit too like pretty boy, like swimming anime kind of thing. If you've seen Golden Time, that's quite like a serious college students kind of drama kind of anime. So yeah, basically this starts off with a story about a kid who can't practice judo anymore as from an injury or something like that, and his best friend who joined when he was younger, because obviously he likes playing, the other kid likes playing judo, ends up quitting at the same time as the main character does, and then says to the main character, right, let's start a cheerleading club, an all boys cheerleading club. And the kid's umming and ahhing about it, but he ends up getting proper into it when this other character seems to be taking more interest than he is. Overall, the first episode, a lot actually quite happened in it, so it actually got me full on board, and I believe the second episode's out. I haven't watched it yet, but I am really looking forward to watching it. The art style was really good, and yeah, it seems like it's probably going to end up being a bit dramery, and it's not full on cheerleading all the time, as it's a bit more about the characters' lives. The next one I watched was Handa-Kun. Now, I was a little bit skeptical about this because I kind of wanted more Barakamon, and obviously it's the main character that's in Barakamon, other than the little kid who was adorable and hilarious. But yeah, this one, I was kind of disappointed with the first episode, but anyway, I'll get to the second episode in a bit. So yeah, the first episode ended up being about half of it being these 5 characters that you have no idea who the hell they are, and then the rest of it was the actual episode, which was actually hilarious. So the first first 10 minutes of this anime was actually really boring for me, but the second half kind of brought it back because it was really funny. This is basically about the main character from Barakamon, Handa, who it's basically him in his high school life. I believe, yeah, it's high school, it's not college. So he is basically trying to deal with college life, as he thinks everybody hates him, but actually they all absolutely love him. But so he kind of gets the wrong idea and just walls himself off from everybody, and the situations he gets into because of that are actually hilarious. So the second episode actually made me continue watching this anime, because it ends up introducing the other 5 characters from the first episode. It introduces 2 of them, and it's really explains kind of how the first episode works, because they seem to be absolutely obsessed with them, and it seems like these characters are getting obsessed with him because of the things that he has done, which they hadn't explained yet, which made it a bit like, I don't know what's going on here, so this is boring because I'm not seeing the character that I want to see. But other than that, I definitely recommend watching it. If you don't want to watch the first episode, just skip halfway through, and then you'll kind of get it from there, I guess. Definitely recommend it, and I will keep watching it. The next one I watched was Hitori no Shita, The Outcast. I think I pronounced that right. And this one was another one that I thought I'd give it a try, and I ended up really not liking it. It starts off fairly interesting. Basically, there's a zombie. Was it start off with a zombie? I can't remember. But basically, this kid's grandfather's grave got dug up, and it turns out he had an item of like some form of worth, and these other people were basically coming to get the item. This ends up with this girl who's like fighting zombies, and the main character who's then like, oh, I want to go see my grandfather's grave. She ends up like putting him in his grandfather's grave or something like that. I don't know. And then all these zombies start attacking. She's taking him out, and then he gets out, and she like runs away because there's too many, and it's too late. Like the artifact's already gone. She's just fighting these zombies for no reason. And then lightning appears in the background, and it turns out it's probably that kid that's done the lightning, but you don't really know. From the synopsis, it sounded really interesting. This is like a supernatural, like actiony kind of anime, and with a bit of mystery, I guess. People with superpowers. I guess the superpowers. But yeah, I fell off it. Like, the main female character was just so boring and dull, and I assume she's supposed to be like that. Yeah, it didn't really work. Like, the whole episode of the anime, it wasn't very good for me, and I gonna watch the second episode, but I'm probably gonna fall off it if it doesn't pick up, because honestly, I found it really boring. And I wouldn't recommend it. But if you guys liked it, or if you liked it, I guess it must be alright. But yeah, not one for me, I'm afraid. The next one I watched was Sevamp, and this is a pretty well-known manga, I believe. I knew about it, and I was told to read it, I think, at one point by Josh. I can't remember who. Someone told me to watch it. It was probably Josh. And this, obviously, is very shonen-ish. The art on this one was really good, and the story progressed at a reasonable pace, which actually made it really interesting. Obviously, shonen manga seem to have a pretty good job at doing this. I don't think it's a jump manga. I'm not quite sure which kind of one it is. But they also introduced a really lovable bad guy who was absolutely batshit crazy, but actually made him actually a really good character. So that was a plus for me. So the main character in this ends up finding this stray cat, which ends up turning out to be a vampire, and he ends up forming a temporary contract, which then becomes a full contract when this crazy magician character, who I was like the bad guy, ends up nearly killing one of his friends. Yeah, it was a good anime. I've since watched the second episode, and they introduced a couple of characters. Obviously, when they formed the full contract, they became this vampire became a Sevamp, which is a servant/vampire, and then you find out that the master is called an Eve. I don't quite know why it's Eve, but anyway. But yeah, the second episode came out, and this was just as good as the first episode, and I would really recommend this one if you just kind of want a typical, like, shonen-esque, like, fights and things like that, because by the looks of it, it's probably going to end up happening in each episode. So then D.Gray-man Halo came out, and I started to watch the first episode, and I was like, hang on a minute, I recognise some of these characters, but how the hell did they get to this point? So it turns out I didn't know this was a sequel to the previous anime, which is like 50 episodes long, and I haven't watched that. I've read the manga to a certain point, but then I stopped, so I honestly have no idea who some of these characters actually are. So unfortunately and annoyingly, I really want to go back and watch the original anime, because I heard it actually stopped really abruptly, and then this carries on from there. So until I've actually watched the original anime, I'm going to put this one on hold, and then I will probably do like an entire review of the entire series as a whole. So look forward to that one, because I'm putting this one on hold, I'm afraid. So the next one I watched was Mob Psycho 100, and this is from the author that brought us One Punch Man. The mangaka, sorry. This was actually a really good episode. The art was really rugged and rough and absolutely terrible, but it plays really well with the anime, because the whole anime is kind of crazy, and it's all supernaturally, and like people with psychic powers and things like that. So this starts off with the main character Mob being a really powerful psychic. Like, think Saitama, but with psychic powers instead of just being super strong. And he works for a exorcist who claims to be really good, but he's actually terrible, and he's not very good at being an exorcist at all. So he basically leads Mob around. Well, the main character's not called Mob, but that's like his nickname. Leads him around and basically gets him to do all these exorcisms instead of him doing them himself. Yeah, it progressed at a reasonable pace. I believe this is going to be like a 12-episode series, so I'm really curious to see where this one goes. Apparently, when he gets to the 100, when his emotions reach 100% or something like that, he absolutely loses control of his powers, which you kind of see in the first first couple of minutes of the episode. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching more of this, and I'm definitely watching it. So the last one that I was waiting on to make this video was Battery. Now this one is another sports anime, but it's a little bit more like Cheidanshi in that respect. It doesn't seem like full on like Free or Kurokono's Basket or anything like that. I thought the art was going to be a little bit like in the promotional poster, which I've probably put here, but it was more like a typical anime, which was still just as good, because the promotional poster has the same artwork as the intro, and the intro is all watercolory, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. But no, obviously that would be a bit too difficult to do like a series in an anime, and it would probably cost a lot of money. So yeah, this one starts out with the main character who's moving into another village, and he obviously is going to be joining the school's baseball team. But I don't know, he kind of hints at that he might have like hurt his arm or something like that. The guy's a pitcher, and so obviously he throws the balls for the batter, for the catcher to catch. And whilst he's moving like Holmes, he ends up going for a run and then meets this other character who turns out to be a catcher of the team of the school that he's going to play for. Or they're all moving to that school because they're going into high school or something like that. And it turns out the main character is actually pretty well known in the baseball community. Yeah, so they end up getting into a little bit of an argument, and at one point when he's like, I'll throw a ball for you, like, I want you to throw a ball for me, and then he's like, yeah, well, you're not throwing it properly, and stuff like that. But yeah, this one seems really nice. I think the second episode is probably out, like, now, by the time this video goes out. But, and I assume it's going to end up being them going to school. But yeah, the first episode progressed at a reasonable pace, introduced the characters, some of the characters which are going to be in it. I assume this one's going to be more like based around their high school lives and them playing baseball and maybe going through a couple of tournaments, and it's not going to be like a crazy thing like Crooked to Basket where they all have crazy ass abilities. This one was just a really nice one to watch, and it was a decent story. Yeah, I reckon there's going to be some hardships along the way between the characters, but they'll probably get over them and end up like loving playing baseball, as the main character seems to be really good and ends up wanting to take this team through to nationals or something like that. So yeah, I definitely recommend this one, and that is actually it. So I was going to watch a couple of the others, I can't remember what there was, but I ended up reading the synopsises and then quickly skipping through the episode, and I was like, I don't want to watch this, so I didn't watch it. I can't remember the name of the titles now, but one of them was on Crunchyroll. Yeah, thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below or on Twitter if you're watching, well, how many of these, like, from this season you're watching. This is actually a really good season for anime. There's a lot of decent stuff out, and I think I'm ended up watching, like, 15 or 16, which is a lot, because last season I probably only watched about 3 or 4. And, yeah, thank you for watching. And, like I said, leave a comment in the comment section below. Leave a like, favourite, and subscribe if you really wish, because I know I'm not that good. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.